start because, in true fashion, my what is it called? Not my tripod, but kind of like my tripod. This thing that I typically use for my light and also to hold my phone just broke off this morning. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's not meant to hold this bulky case that I have. And so with me using this bulky case, now I just look crazy. Okay. And then, yeah, it's been a morning. So that's why I'm out. But anyway, so I think my just give me one quick second. I done I'm just trying to check and make sure that the message that I sent went out. Yeah, that was some time ago. I guess I didn't get it myself, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm probably gonna flip you all over on Instagram because I don't have a way to read and still hold this. So please excuse me. And perhaps I should put on my headphones so that Facebook can hear everything I just said. But I have my Instagram here, but I can't really do anything about that. So let me make sure that my sound is good. So my sound was Walaikum salam, ma'am. Good morning. Yeah. So sorry y'all for no sound on the Facebook. But look, y'all, look at this. It's broken. This little thing holds my phone. It's broken. So I'm gonna just have y'all sitting up like that. Hopefully y'all can still hear. Put your phone on something. I can't. There's nothing that will be able to hold up my phone and me still being able to read and use my headphones. So, um, I don't know. I guess I could, but I look crazy. Yeah, but I have my headphones in, so anything that I try to prop it up on is not gonna work. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do it like this, but that looks weird. So today we are reading Your Laptop. Um, so I'll try to just hold it like this. I still look like homeless, but whatever. Um, let me so today so just to get started, if you'd like to be notified when I go live, text Healthy Hue to all caps, no space. Text Healthy Hue, all caps, no space to 77948. Also, if you appreciate what I'm doing, if you're tuning in regularly, go ahead and share this out to a couple of folks and donate by clicking the button in my bio to my Savior's Day gift. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started because I'm already thrown off. Okay, so today we're reading The Law of Recognition by Mike Murdock, discovering the gifts, opportunities, and relationships that God has already placed in your life. Chapter 5, Recognition of an Uncommon Protege. And like normal, we're going to read the chapter first, and then I'll do my commentary on the back end because I know and understand that everyone does not care for my commentary. Grand Rising. Um, I always mess up your name, so I'm not going to today. Okay, reading. Chapter 5, Recognition of an Uncommon Protege. A protege is an enthusiastic learner. The wisdom of the mentor is perpetuated through the protege. As I have said for many years, true success will produce a successor. Jesus took 12 proteges and revolutionized the earth. It is very important that you recognize those connected to you by the Holy Spirit for the multiplying and perpetuation of your success in life. You will only remember what you teach another. Our children should become our proteges. Passive proteges only reach when it is convenient or when their personal efforts do not produce their desired result. They subconsciously expect their mentor to produce success for them. Parasite proteges pursue for credibility, not correction. They will use the name and influence of a mentor to manipulate others into a relationship. They want what the mentor has earned, not what he has learned. They want the reputation without the preparation. Prodigal proteges enter and exit the relationship freely. When serious correction occurs, they move toward another mentor who has not yet discovered their flaws. They distance themselves when their mentor encounters personal difficulties, loss of credibility or false accusations or persecution. They only return when their pig pen becomes unbearable. Productive proteges are uncommon. They have a servant's heart. They never make a major decision without the counsel and feedback of their mentor. They view their mentor as a dominant gift from God. They love their mentor as much as themselves. The uncommon proteges assigned by God will honor the mentor. The uncommon protege assigned by God will honor the mentor. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. 9 facts about the uncommon protege. 1. The uncommon protege will invest everything to stay in the presence of the uncommon mentor. Ruth persisted, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go. Ruth chapter 1, verse 16. 2. The uncommon protege follows the counsel of the uncommon mentor. God established the punishment of a rebellious protege who sneered at the counsel of his covering. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do more presumptuously. Deuteronomy 17:12 through 13. 3. The uncommon protege reveals the secrets and dreams of his heart with the mentor. Ruth opened her heart to Naomi. Elisa expressed her longings to Elijah. Vulnerability creates the unbreakable bond between a mentor and protege. 4. The uncommon protege freely discusses his mistakes and pain with the mentor. David did. So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Naoth. 1 Samuel 19 and 18. 5. The uncommon protege defines clearly his expectations to the mentor. Elisa explained his desire to Elijah. Ruth explained her desire to Naomi. 6. The uncommon protege gladly sows seeds of appreciation back into the life of the mentor. It was the secret of the Queen of Sheba. She presented over $4 million of gifts when she met Solomon for the appointment. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices and very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. 1 Kings chapter 10, verses 10 through 3 and 10. The remarkable mentor, the Apostle Paul, received such gifts. For even in Thessalonica ye sent once and again unto my necessity. Philippians 4 and 16. 7. The uncommon protege ultimately receives the mantle of the mentor he serves. Transference of anointing is a fact, not a fantasy. The Apostle Paul documented it. Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God, which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. 2 Timothy 1:6. Joshua received it. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of my life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Joshua 1:5. 8. The uncommon protege moves towards the shelter of the mentor during a season of uncommon attack and warfare. The picture of David and Samuel's relationship is remarkable. So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelleth in Naioth. 1 Samuel 19:18. Think about this seriously. During serious attack, David did not withdraw from Samuel. He pursued. He pursued him. He invested time with him. 9. The uncommon protege will change his own schedule to invest time in the presence of the mentor. Paul did. Neither went I to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me, but I went into Arabia and returned again unto Damascus. Then after 3 years I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him 15 days. The uncommon protege is someone who discerns respect and pursues the answer God has stored in the mentor for their life. What to do when the mentor protege relationship is threatened? Satan despises unity. He fears the law of agreement. He will invest everything to destroy the transference of wisdom. Mentors are heartbroken when a worthy protege withdraws. I am certain Paul was heartbroken over Demas forsaking him. The father was heartbroken at the departure of the prodigal son. Jesus wept over Jerusalem. Read Matthew 23. Here are some thoughts that have helped me when a protege withdraws. You cannot force someone to learn from you. Jesus himself could not, and neither can you. There is usually a third party that destroys the unity between the mentor and the protege. Unless the protege opens his heart about it, you cannot correct it. You cannot answer questions the protege refuses to ask. You cannot help anyone who feels you are you cannot help anyone who feels you are unqualified to bring increase into their life. Proteges withdraw when they believe their own goals are superior to the goals of the mentor. Proteges become discouraged by the mentor's expressed disappointment in them. When the counsel of the mentor is rejected, God will correct them through painful experience. The law of repetition is necessary in the learning process. Oral Roberts said, when you get sick and tired of saying what you're saying, you are just then beginning to get it yourself. When your staff becomes sick and tired of hearing you teach something, they are just then beginning to get it themselves. And when your people become sick and tired of hearing you say something, they are just then beginning to understand it. The protege is not necessarily the confidant of the mentor. Questions should be addressed to the mentor. Answers should be addressed to the protege. The greatest success quality known is the willingness to become. Recognition of an uncommon protege will create an inner contentment no other achievement can produce. And that is the conclusion of chapter 5, recognition, of an uncommon protege. So if you enjoyed this chapter, please share this. And if you would like to get notified when I go live, type Healthy Hue, all caps, no spaces, 77948. And I'm sure some of you guys on Instagram are wondering why I'm holding my phone. My phone holder for my for this light you guys see has broken. And, that's why I was also late in doing our reading this morning. I almost canceled it, but I was like, no, girl, go ahead. you know, how we do. Oh, I actually forgot to read the scripture for this chapter. It says First Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 12 through 3. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. So if you have not listened to chapters 1 through 4, they're all on my Instagram. So go ahead and go over there at Sister Victoria X. And let's get started into the commentary. So the biggest thing that came to my mind as I was reading this chapter is, what kind of protege are you? And I would even venture to say, what type of mentor are you? Because in recognizing an uncommon protege, it definitely goes into the relationship between a protege and a mentor. So I'm gonna get into these comments just real quick. I got it. Walaikum salam, Sister Shantae, Grand Rising, beautiful AJ. Walaikum salam, Sister Coletta, Sister Deja, peace and blessings, sin. that signal, Lord have mercy. DAP Water, peace to you as well. Monica, Monique, shift your mindset. Peace. Thank you for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum, brother D4X. Peace, brother Daniel. And peace, Era Zokum. I can't pronounce your name, but peace to you. So that's what really made this chapter think of me, because oftentimes, to me, when I first read the title of this chapter, when it said uncommon protege, I thought like unrecognizable, like, as a mentor, someone that you would never think, uncommon, that you would never think could be, your protege. But in actuality, it is a type of protege. And if you listen, or if you were here to read the beginning, please share this out if you find any value. Okay. And also, if you like what you're hearing and you support your sister, click the link in my bio or go to sistervictoriax.com and click the donate button so you can donate to my Savior's Day gift. Okay. So, but in uncommon protege, in actuality, is a type of protege. And so it starts off by going into one, two, three, four, five different types of proteges. But the very first thing was that it started off with a definition. A protege, and it is an enthusiastic learner. Right. And when you think about, in a time such as this where everyone is becoming more open, well, not open, but the idea that we're all always learning is becoming more accepted, right? Because there was a point in time where we were okay with allowing people to be exactly who they are, where they are, right? But now we're coming more into the understanding that we're all always learning. So that also means that we're all, depending on our disposition, right? Because it says enthusiastic learner is a protege. Depending on our disposition, we know that we're all a protege of someone else, right? And so, in knowing that if we are someone that enthusiastically learns, whether it's in one field or another, we all know that we're the protege of someone else, right? And so, we have to identify what type of protege that we are in order to learn how to appropriately work the relationship, and not work like, what I mean, take advantage of, but to fill the position as a protege as most effectively as possible, right? And so some of us, because we don't recognize that we're a protege in a specific field, we will misuse our position. And so when we get to talking about a passive protege, is someone that only reaches out when it's convenient for them, right? And that goes to our disposition when it comes to learning, right? Because sometimes we think that we know everything, so we be on our own until we realize we don't know everything, and then we got to return back to our source of information, aka our mentor. After listening to this, I feel more inspired to obtain a mentor. I used to feel it was a weakness in myself to seek a mentor, as if I wasn't making Allah sufficient. Yes, ma'am. Allah works through people. And the beautiful thing about that is that you see it first. You see it first. Oftentimes, we have the idea in the mindset that if we have to ask for help, or if our help is coming, um, help is coming from someone that's external to ourselves and that we can feel, right? Because we can't necessarily feel with our hands a lot, right? Um, that we feel like it's a weakness because our relationship with Allah should be sufficient, right? But the truth of the matter is Allah works through his messengers. So can we really say that we are making Allah sufficient if we kill his messengers and kill their ability to communicate with us effectively? And then it goes on to say, you will only remember what you teach another. Our children should become our proteges. So, in thinking about that, this was really like, what do they call it? A self accusing statement. Because when we think about mentorship, right? If you knew you were someone's mentor, or someone considered you to be their mentor, how would you treat them? How would you interact with them? Right? We tend to think that when we're in a position of authority, we tend to change our disposition and the way that we interact with the person, right? If I know that you think that I'm someone, walaikum salam, sister Taylor, walaikum salam, sister Nadia. If we tend to think that someone looks at us as a certain high regard, right? Then we tend to button ourselves up a little bit more. We tend to become a little bit more patient. We tend to hide the parts of ourselves that we don't want to pass on to someone because we don't want to be a negative influence. And so when you think about that, that's how we should be looking at our interaction with our children. Okay, sorry. That's how we should be looking at our interaction with our children. Like when we think that someone is learning from us, then we tend to put our best foot forward. But sometimes as parents, we forget that our children are still learning from us. And sometimes they learn the most when we're not teaching them per se. You know what I mean? When we're not directly having communication with them that we consider to be a teaching moment. They actually learn the most when we're just living our daily lives. And so the passive protege, the parasite protege is someone who pursues credibility. They will learn everything they want from you, and they'll use your name to garner followings, and they'll use your name to get sales, and they'll use your name to do all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just manipulation until they can get enough of whatever it is that they're looking for, and then claim it to all be because of themselves. A mentor, not what he has learned. They want reputation without preparation. And then we get into talking about the conversation about being prepared versus being ready. Like we say that we want to have a day for self care. We say that we want to have a day for just ourselves, but then we're not properly prepared because when that day comes, we don't know what we're going to do. We don't know what we like. We don't know how we're going to spend that time, right? So you ready in your mind, you ready for a day off, but you are not prepared for a day off because when it comes, we don't never know what we want to do. I see y'all preaching in the comments. Let me check in. You can keep what you have unless you give it away. Yes, sir. Or lose it. Or lose it because what you do not use, you lose. Let me see. Like for instance, when I am in the kitchen cooking, baking, my boys come right on in and start assisting when I didn't ask for the help. You know what's so funny? That unsolicited help can be a blessing and a curse, child, because who does it slow you down? Um, we too learn from them. Listen, yes, sir. We absolutely do learn from our children. Like I have a daughter, right? Akira. She's my third daughter, and I think she is 4 of them. I think she's 4 now. And so she she really taught me that femininity is more than just or modesty and femininity is more than just how you dress. Because she is the most feminine of my 3 girls. Like just the way that she moves is like really like, oh, so soft and so, you know what I mean? And then when I look at her sometimes I just look at the innocence, like the nature of who we are as women. Ready but not prepared for the day off. Yes, yes. Yes. We will definitely we learn from our children and then we got to start preparing for what we say we want. That's the same thing in prayer, right? We will literally spend all the time praying to Allah for what we want, right? And not prepare for when he gives it to us. That's why there's so many people that hit the lottery. They prayed for it. They prayed for a miracle. They prayed to be put out of their situation. They prayed that Allah blessed them with something great. And then the money come and they never and real they realize they never prepared for it. So now they're spending the money, giving it here, giving it there because they think it's gonna last long. But in actuality, they weren't prepared for what they asked for. So the other part to making a prayer or making a request is preparing in the meantime, and prepare your mind to be able to see what we do not expect, because that's how it often comes. Allah don't just give you what you want. He gives you what you need, right? Which is really what you should be wanting, but it never looks like how we wanted it. I want to learn patience. I want to learn patience. And we have an idea of what the lesson to learning patience looks like, but he going to hit you with something completely different. You'll still learn patience, but that's only if you opened your mind to see that, oh, this situation is what I asked for. So let me practice that patience. Walaikum salam, Sister Rachel. Thank you for tuning in. That's supply and demand. We're not ready for what we create in the spiritual universe. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My life right now. I was tried last. Sister Nadia, we were tried. Do, 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 do. Yes, and that's one of the things that I'm learning myself, the power of restraint. You know what I mean? Because when certain people say certain things, it can trigger me to return back to the old Victoria, where you could get all these words, okay? And they cut, you feel me? They show enough cut. Peace, Chuno. Thank you for tuning in. And so sometimes, I've been asking for patience too. And it was definitely, definitely a work of patience, because sometimes it's not, you know what I mean, being patient with other people. It's learning to be patient with ourselves and sit with ourselves and sit with our thoughts, because sometimes we just react. That's right, Sister Naomi. Sister Naomi, that's exact. Sometimes we'll just react just that quick, right? And so many times I find myself typing and then deleting, typing and then deleting, typing and then deleting. And then by the time I didn't get to the fifth time, I realized that this ain't even really of any importance. It's not important for me to. And that's another thing that I learned while I was, in the hospital, that we really spend energy on things that we think don't require energy, but it requires a lot of energy. She said, my life right now, as soon as you ask for it, he will send you the test to see if you really Sister Naomi, preaching in the comments always. He'll send you a little test trial to see, like, oh, is this what you really is this what you really want? Or is this what you really want? Just a little test trial just to see how long you're gonna hold this mindset. And some of us fail immediately. we be like, I want riches, I want money. Allah send us a extra $10, and the first thing we spend it on is nonsense. I asked for patience, and it was a struggle. Yes, ma'am. It definitely be a struggle. That's especially when you feel like the things that you cherish are being attacked. That's right. Same sis. Walaikum salam. I'ma message you back. Okay, I'm in here. Respond, not react. You and me both. Yeah, facts, no lie. I'm loving this. Hey, Peace Con, thank you for tuning in. Yes, I think 5 times you might be right, Sister Deja. Type 5 times before you send, Brother Daniel. That's the new one. Type 5 times before you send, and not only type 5 times. I need you to type and delete 5 times, because right around that third time you realize that this ain't even that important to keep doing all this typing. What? Deja Bakes, I need to practice that. Daniel, everything requires energy. What kind of exchange do you want to be known for? Yes. What kind of exchange do you want to be known for? The Spider, Holy Quran. I've never heard of that one. I mean, I don't want to say I never, but I'm gonna look into that, Sister Shantae. But yes, so we heard about the passive protege. Now let's get into, I'm sorry, we read about the parasite. Now let's get into the prodigal. And I thought prodigal was like, you know what I mean, a good term. But in actuality, it says, when serious correction occurs, they move towards another mentor. Some of us only like people until they give us correction. Like, you my ace, you my best friend, you the best mentor I ever had. This is my community. I like this type of energy, and then you get corrected, and all of a sudden, Oh no, this ain't the place for me. You ain't the person for me. If you was my friend, it's like, bruh, if I was real, if I was really your friend, if I was your fake friend, then you can't correct me. This is just like a good time. This is a party. You go in for the fun and you leave when it start getting dry. You know what I mean? So that's the type of thing that's that prodigal protege. It ain't always as good as it seems. It look good when it's good, but when it's bad, it's like deuces. I gotta go. Let me see what y'all talking about. It says facts. Type and delete. Type and delete. I've been doing that during this live. Check in private and not in public. I don't know, Chuno. I don't know, Chuno. If the offense is public, then you gotta check it where it's at. Woo, talk about that. We want yes men. Allah show ain't no yes man, cause he'll send a trial in a second. How will you receive the information? You don't want growth if you don't want pain. It's painful to be called out. Sister Naomi called me out, and Taylor called me out too. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's how you know if your friendship is real. That's how you know that your community is real. That when you get checked, like my best friend to this day, and you are sometimes it's not an immediate exception. Because sometimes Sister Octavia will call me out and she be like, now sis, that was you. That was not them. And I look at her just like this. Because I know she telling the truth. But I can't formulate the words to accept it right now in this moment. So we just going to just be silent and just move on to the next topic. So if you get that on one that Allah sends, they ain't having it. Yes, call me out. Call me out. You feel me? Call me out. Cause then by the time okay, I'm gonna move forward. Productive proteges are uncommon. They have servants' hearts. They never make a major decision without the counsel and feedback of their mentor. They view their mentor as a dominant gift from God. They love their mentor as much as themselves. Now, the productive protege, to me, in my eyes, seems like a person that is so invested in being mentored that they're not growing themselves in a way that allows them to still check in their mentor, but rely on their inner self as well. Their inner mentor. So it can be a good thing for sure, but also it can be a limited thing because it said never make a major decision. Okay, never mind. I take it back. A major decision. Okay, so the little things, okay, maybe they make it on their own. And then the uncommon protege. So is assigned by God and will honor the mentor. So what type of mentor are you? And what type of protege are you? So then we get into the facts about it. Let me see. It feels good to be back amongst my tribe family. I had to take a break, but I'm loving my newfound mindset, and this is great for me this morning. Thanks a bunch for this. Is that Sister Sheilan? Sister Naomi done gave her the pass to be out in public without rest. Cause yes, we are glad to have you back. Y'all laughing in these about something I wasn't informed on in the first place. Are we talking about last night? You know, because I'm a practice restraint. But look, let me tell you about what happened last night, brother Chino. Brother Chuno, okay? I'm gonna say this, and this is with love, so please don't come at your sister. What happened last night was what always happened in the tribe. Always just last week, someone did the same exact thing. They got the same exact response, and they came back this week happy. They was last week. They looked at it, boom, I'm sorry, and moved on. So I understand how you could feel away, but we say it every time. Don't share it. We say it every single time. And some people, just like you, don't know. And when they get checked, they take it on the chin and they keep moving forward. Period. How will you grow if you're not called out? Happy to hear Sister Supreme Purpose, Sister Taylor on here in all her accounts. I'm done. But you assumed that I was informed on it. Daniel and I was not informed on anything of the nature of inviting a future member. Okay. Sister Sheilan, Sister Rachel, I'm desperate to grow. I don't want to look up and be like 50 and still with my mindset. Yep, I'll let her make it. Sister Naomi is precious. Yes, Sister Naomi will check you too. Yes, ma'am. Me too, Sister Nadia. Walaikum salam. It was me. Sister Victoria said, come to the office. Yeah, you had to come to the office. Y'all had to come to the office last night. I apologize in the public and I still kept getting attacked. If I'm going hit back. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so then we start talking about the characteristics of the facts about uncommon proteges. The uncommon protege gladly sows seeds of appreciation into the life of the mentor. Some of us, matter of fact, I'm gonna look up the definition of a mentor. I wonder if we have a call today because I'm gonna have to get off. Mentor, an experienced and trusted advisor. Some of us have mentors that we don't know are mentors, and we don't do that sowing into their life, right? Because I don't want to say the downside, but the other side to becoming. What, Daniel, are you talking about? You, sir. I was informed and had been informed from the beginning. Okay, yes, please. Can we stick to the reading? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. We have people in our lives. See my minds that we consider to be mentored. Okay, I'm gonna just move on. My mind has been disrupted. Um, when you get sick and tired of saying what you're saying, you are just then beginning to get it yourself. When your staff becomes sick and tired of hearing you teach something, they're just beginning to get it themselves. So when I think about that, that lets me know that um one, a hit dog will holler, right? And sometimes the hollering just recognized that they just got hit. Like they could be there all this time, right? They can be there all this time, but as soon as they express, you know what I mean? It says here that when your staff becomes sick and tired of hearing you, that means that once they express that they are tired of hearing it is when they actually finally understood it in their head, right? So it's not that you saying it too much. It's just that they finally starting to get it, and maybe they don't recognize what they see, or they don't like what they've seen. And so, yes, please, we can stick to the reading. Yes, can't wait to see you ladies tomorrow night. Yes, I need to drop that link in the group. I was asking, you can ignore me. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, Taylor. Okay, yes, y'all. So that's where I'm gonna end it at. I think we have a meeting in like 1 minute, and I ain't trying to be late. So I pray that you all, you know what I mean, got a little something something from the reading this morning. If you would like to get notified when I go live, text Healthy Hue, all caps, no space, to 77948. Share this out when I drop it. And please, um tune in tomorrow. And tomorrow's chapter is recognition of the mate God has approved for you. Peace, family.